Ezekiel lay on his side in Ezekiel 4 for 390 years to as a symbol of punishment for the house of Israel who got exiled in 722 BC. But if they didn't repent, their punishment got sevenfold. All right. So what happens, like this prophecy's there, it's in Ezekiel 4 and Leviticus 26, but basically what happens is around the year 2008 AD, a bunch of people start waking up and turning to the Torah, the law of God. And Torah means the full instruction of God. That's what it actually means. And what people have done is they've fallen into this prophecy. And a group of people called Ephraim, who are largely going to be found in the United States of America because they're drunk on pride and they're the younger brother of Manasseh and they're a mixed melting pot of cultures and they learn the ways of the heathen. They did Christmas and Easter. They made altars to sin, so altars will be unto them to sin. And they're going to turn it. What that means is they're going to do the pagan feasts like Christmas and Easter, and they're going to recognize that their church is apostate, and then they're going to jump out of the pot into the frying pan, so to speak, and then altars will be unto him to sin, Ephraim. And this is written in Hosea 8:11-14. And we're told not to go too far left or too far right. And the straight and narrow path is this. The gospel is that Yeshua refreshed the Holy Covenant, the original 10 Commandments. So that is the Torah of God. And, they like to hang on this verse. Think not that I'm come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. That's Matthew 5:17. And that's right. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. First of all, you got to understand jots and tittles are marking over the Hebrew letters in the manuscripts that they represent. This prophecy, right? No prophecy will pass until all be fulfilled. It's not just meaning any little thing, right? And he didn't come to destroy the law of the prophets. He came not to destroy, but to fulfill. But then he goes on to say this. You have heard it was said of old time, in verse 21, not to kill. You have heard that it is said of old time, not to commit adultery. Again, you've heard it said of old time, you shouldn't break an oath. You've heard it's been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, right? He's quoting all this stuff from the law. You've heard that it's been said, 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 and every single time he magnifies this part of the law, right? Or he ends it. Like, for instance, you shouldn't false swear yourself, but you shall perform unto the Lord thine oaths. You've heard that it said of old time, right? This is in the law, not to break your oaths, perform your oaths. But I say to you, swear not at all. Right? Don't vow a vow is what he's saying. But in the law, it was permissible to do this. And remember, if we don't, from Deuteronomy 18, if we don't listen to do all the words that come out of Yeshua's mouth, we'll be destroyed from among the people. So Yeshua said, I didn't come to destroy the law, but to fulfill. But now he's saying you're not even allowed to do that thing in the law, like vowing a vow. He's also said it used to be an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. He's quoting Exodus 21 and again in Deuteronomy about this. But he says, I just say turn the other cheek, right? So it's like he's ending part of the law, but he just said he wouldn't do that. But remember, he said, I don't come to destroy the law of the prophets, not to destroy, but to fulfill, because all the law and the prophets prophesied of Yeshua coming and doing exactly this. Isaiah 42, he'll magnify the law and make it honorable. And the sacrificial law wasn't honorable before, so he ends that part, refreshes the Torah to the Holy Covenant, the original 10 Commandments. This is why Paul was rebuking the Galatians so much, because they're trying to serve sacrificial law, which wasn't even given to them. The Gentiles have never been under sacrificial law. So this is like the same thing. If you say that we're under every part of the sacrificial law we have to keep, well, first look down, and if you're not wearing tassels, you're in sin, under your own false doctrine, right? But then second of all, in Matthew 19, is it Pharisees or does it say just a group of Jews, or who's coming up to him? Pharisees in verse 3. The Pharisees came to him, tempting him. All right, skip to verse 7. They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorce and to put her away? Right? So in the law, if your wife didn't please you, you could just divorce her for whatever reason. Right? And there's stuff written about this in the prophets and Proverbs and even in removed books that, it's wise to put away your wife if she's given you a hard time and stuff. This was in the law. It was permissible to do this. Give her a bill of divorce and put her away. And then Yeshua's reply is, so they're asking, why is this in the law? And then Yeshua says, Moses, because of the hardness of your heart, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. So he magnifies the law. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, commits adultery. And whosoever marries her which is put away does commit adultery as well. Right? So he's just ended part of the law. You are no longer allowed to give your wife a bill of divorce if she doesn't please you. But he didn't come to destroy the law, but to fulfill. Right? Because it wasn't honorable before. Moses gave you this commandment out of the hardness of your hearts, but in the beginning it was not so. And you get many examples like this. You're not under the sacrificial law system. The covenant from Moab, Deuteronomy 29 verse 1, it was made beside the one made in Horeb. So you want nothing to do with that, the sacrificial law. That's for Hagar, the bondwoman. You want everything to do with the holy covenant of promise, the 10 commandments. That's for Sarah, the free woman. And the people that keep that covenant and teach others to do so, that's the royal law. They're called great in the kingdom of heaven. That means they're there. The others aren't there. The guys in the kingdom of heaven are looking down, calling them the least, just like it says in the last verse of Isaiah 66. And obviously you eat clean, because that covenant, the rainbow covenant, was given to the whole world long before the promise of the holy covenant even. Right? And you can look at Peter in Acts 10. He ate clean. He'd never had anything unclean in his mouth long after the Messiah had died. And he interprets his own vision and says, God's told me not to call any man unclean. So if you want to use that to say you can eat swine's flesh, which isn't meat, then you have to also say it's okay to be accountable. God's telling Peter to be accountable. That's how ridiculous that is. Right? So there's 2 covenants of promise in Ephesians 2:12. You keep those and you teach others to do the same, and you'll get to the kingdom of heaven.